From soup to cells, a tiny beginning. Imagine Earth billions of years ago. It was a wild place, full of volcanoes and strange chemicals. This was our planet's primordial soup. But within this chaos, something incredible happened. Simple molecules, the building blocks of life, began to assemble. Over eons, these molecules joined together, forming larger, more complex structures. Eventually, the first cells emerged. These single-celled pioneers were simple, but they were alive. They could reproduce and pass on their genetic information. This was a pivotal moment in the history of life. From these humble beginnings, all life on Earth would eventually spring forth. It's a story of unimaginable scale and beauty, and it's still unfolding today. These early cells were incredibly adaptable. They evolved to survive in a variety of environments, from scorching hot springs to the depths of the ocean. This ability to change and adapt is key to understanding the grand story of evolution. It's a story of survival, competition, and ultimately, the triumph of life itself. Survival of the fittest, natural selection at work. This concept, coined by Charles Darwin, is a cornerstone of evolutionary biology. Evolution is driven by a powerful force, natural selection. It's the mechanism by which species adapt to their environments over generations. In simple terms, it's the idea that individuals best suited to their environment are more likely to survive and reproduce. This can be seen in the diverse beak shapes of birds, each adapted to their specific feeding habits. Think of it like a race. In this race, the competitors are not just running for a medal, but for survival and the chance to pass on their genes. Not all individuals are created equal. Each has unique traits that can either help or hinder their survival. Some are faster, stronger, or smarter. These traits can make a significant difference in the wild. Those with advantageous traits are more likely to win the race, passing on their winning genes to the next generation. This is how natural selection shapes the evolution of species. Let's break down the key components of natural selection. First, there's variation. Without variation, there would be no raw material for natural selection to act upon. Every population has differences within it. These differences can be in size, color, shape, or behavior. Think about humans. We come in all shapes, sizes, and colors. This diversity is a result of genetic variation. These variations are often due to genetic differences. Second, there's inheritance. Traits are passed down from parents to offspring through genes. Offspring tend to resemble their parents. This resemblance is due to the inheritance of genes. This is because they inherit their parents' genes, which carry the instructions for their traits. These genetic instructions are crucial for the survival and reproduction of the offspring. Third, there's differential survival and reproduction. This means that not all individuals have the same chance of survival and reproduction. Some individuals, because of their traits, are better equipped to find food, avoid predators, or resist disease. These individuals are more likely to survive and reproduce. Some individuals, because of their traits, are better equipped to find food, avoid predators, or resist disease. These individuals are more likely to survive and reproduce. This is the essence of differential survival and reproduction. Finally, these differences in survival and reproduction lead to adaptation. Adaptation is the process by which a species becomes better suited to its environment. Over time, the advantageous traits become more common in the population, while the less advantageous traits become less common. This gradual change in the population is what we call evolution. This process of adaptation is how populations change over time in response to their environment. It's a continuous and dynamic process, shaping the diversity of life we see around us. Branching out, how new species arise. The story of evolution is a tale of branching paths, where life diversifies and adapts to the ever-changing environment. Now let's talk about speciation, the fascinating process by which new species come into existence. It's a fundamental concept in biology that explains the diversity of life on Earth. A species is a group of organisms that can successfully reproduce with each other, sharing a common gene pool. This reproductive compatibility is what keeps a species together. Imagine a population of beetles that gets divided by a river. This physical separation creates two isolated groups. Over time, the two groups evolve independently, adapting to their specific environments. Each group faces different challenges and opportunities, leading to unique evolutionary paths. Eventually, they become so different that they can no longer interbreed. Their genetic differences have accumulated to the point where they are now distinct species. Voila! We have two distinct species. This process of divergence is a key mechanism of evolution. This type of speciation, where a physical barrier separates a population, is called allopatric speciation. It's one of the most common ways new species form. But there are other ways new species can arise. Speciation is not limited to physical barriers alone. Sometimes speciation happens within the same geographic area, known as sympatric speciation. This occurs without any physical separation. This can occur when different groups within a population specialize in different resources or habitats. These specializations can lead to reproductive isolation over time. Think of Darwin's finches, a classic example of speciation. These birds provide a clear illustration of how new species can evolve. These birds, found on the Galapagos Islands, evolve different beak shapes depending on their diet. The diversity of beak shapes is a direct result of adaptation to different food sources. Some finches developed strong beaks for cracking seeds, allowing them to exploit a particular food resource, while others evolved long, slender beaks for probing flowers for nectar. This adaptation enabled them to access a different food source. Over time, these differences in beak shape led to the evolution of new finch species, each adapted to its own ecological niche. This diversification is a prime example of how species can evolve to fill various roles in an ecosystem, showcasing the incredible adaptability of life. Life's grand tapestry, a story of change and adaptation, woven through countless generations and epochs. The history of life on Earth is a tale of constant change and adaptation, a narrative that stretches back billions of years. To understand this grand story, we often look to the tree of life, a powerful symbol of life's interconnectedness. This branching diagram depicts the evolutionary relationships between all living things, illustrating how diverse life forms are connected through common ancestry. It shows how life has diversified over billions of years, from those first simple cells to the incredible array of organisms we see today, each uniquely adapted to their environments. The tree of life is marked by periods of dramatic change, such as the Cambrian Explosion, a pivotal moment in evolutionary history. This event, which occurred around 540 million years ago, saw an incredible burst of diversification, with many new and complex body plans evolving, laying the foundation for future life forms. But life's journey has also been punctuated by mass extinctions, catastrophic events that wiped out vast numbers of species, reshaping the course of evolution. These extinctions, while devastating, also created opportunities for new life to flourish, as ecosystems were reset and new niches became available. After each mass extinction, surviving lineages underwent adaptive radiations, rapidly diversifying to fill the vacant ecological niches. This process highlights the resilience and adaptability of life. Life is incredibly resilient. It has a remarkable ability to bounce back from adversity and evolve to fill every available niche on Earth, from the deepest oceans to the highest mountains, and even the most extreme environments. This adaptability is evident in the vast diversity of ecosystems and species that thrive in different environments, each uniquely suited to their habitats. As we continue to study and understand the story of change and adaptation, we also recognize our role in shaping the future of life on Earth, emphasizing the importance of conservation and sustainable practices. The story of life is far from over. It continues to unfold, with new chapters being written every day, as life adapts and evolves in response to the ever-changing world around it. By appreciating the past and understanding the present, we can help ensure a hopeful future for biodiversity and the continued resilience of life on our planet.